All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode number 19 of the Good Old Hockey Podcast. Sean with Galli here. We are going to be getting into some fun stuff today. I wouldn't say, Galli, that it's been super crazy this week, just in terms of news. I feel like we've been pretty blessed the past couple months with crazy stuff, but there's still some good stuff coming ahead of just what we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, Galli, how was your week? How was your weekend? All that stuff.
Dude, weekend was pretty good. Pretty lax. I did a beer pong tournament at Cactus on
Ooh,
Saturday.
yeah.
And my teammate, his name is Mikey. He's a homie. He's a scrapper though. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. And we swept the tournament all the way up to the finals, and it was double elim.
Ooh.
And we ended up losing two in a row. All right, we choked super fucking hard. Ended up losing the finals, but
Yeah.
Mikey decided to. First of all, there's the most shit talk I've ever seen out of any beer pong game,
Yeah.
like the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mikey took things in his own hands and basically tried to fight the whole bar.
Oh, no way.
So that was pretty funny. But yeah, besides that, man, watched a lot of fucking hockey. I didn't have a hockey game, no beer league game this week. I think we do have one this weekend upcoming, but yeah, watched so much hockey. My 7-leg parlay, if anyone was following that, absolutely did miserable.
Yeah.
Like I think I went 2 for 7.
Yeah.
So you know what? Better luck next time.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a parlay this season. We're gonna get a
Oh,
parlay.
yeah.
All right, we will get a
Yeah.
parlay that will hit
Easy.
before the end of the season. Mark,
I
I'm
agree.
manifesting it right now.
I
So.
think we need to stick to like 3 legs or 4 legs. I think 7 is that's
Dude,
probably right. But
I felt ambitious in the morning.
yeah.
Honestly, I was like, dude, there's a bunch of hockey on
Mhm.
President's Day. I got the day off from work. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck
Why wouldn't
around and try to hit a 7-leg parlay. Like, I
why
would
wouldn't
put
you? Yeah.
$10 to win like 533. So ended up not panning out, but
Hey,
it was tough.
it's
I think I
gambling.
lost on the first game with the Sabres money line.
Yeah,
But
I saw the Sharks go 4-0, which was pretty early on in the day. And I saw you had 5.5 over. And I would guess that playing the Sharks, but once I saw that was 4-0 the score, I was like, "Oh shit. Not a good start." But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh,
yeah, how was your weekend, man?
Saturday I went to um this brewery downtown called Mad Swede Brew Hall. They
Mm-hmm.
do open mic stand up late at night. It started like 11. And oh my god, like I don't know, have you ever been to like just an open mic thing where it's not
Yeah.
professional? Okay. Yeah, respect to anyone that goes up there and do that. I would love to be able to do that. I want to someday, but wow, like it was hard to watch sometimes and just like
Really?
yeah, I was giving some pity laughs. There were funny people there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but you can just tell like, some of the jokes just don't it's especially hard because there was probably 12 people in that room. Um, and it's really hard to make every single person laugh, especially 12 people. If it's a whole room, like you can get 50% of the room laughing and it sounds like everyone's laughing, like if you're in an arena, but shit, like it was kind of awkward, but honestly, I had a good time. I feel like I just kept drinking more beer to like get over the awkwardness and like uncomfortable. Um, but yeah, that was my highlight of the weekend. Sunday, what did I do Sunday? Honestly, I kind of chilled Sunday. No football to watch. Nothing. There's some hockey on. Oh, that's what I did. I watched the Stadium Series on Sunday. Um, saw my parents too. Um, and then yeah, Monday yesterday didn't really. I had to work for a little bit yesterday. I don't get the whole day off, but I went in a little bit later and just worked for a couple hours. But now I'm ready. I feel like we had a good week of hockey, especially the Stadium Series. That's always fun to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
especially because it's I don't know, it's nothing like not that I wouldn't watch an Islanders Rangers game, but I'm gonna watch a Stadium Series over
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job with it. I mean,
Mhm.
some of the stadium series are kind of not the best, I feel like. I feel like the
Yeah,
NHL really tries to push markets where it's not as popular. in the
Yeah.
past years with the Stadium Series. I think the Winter Classic and Heritage Classics are in good locations in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of like hockey markets,
Mhm.
but not saying like, I mean, New York City and the East
Yeah.
Coast is super crazy for hockey, so I think
Yeah.
that went really well. I mean, it was sweet to see like a sold out MetLife Stadium, and
Yeah.
both the Devils and the Isles and the Devils and the
Philly.
Philly Flyers, and then the Islanders and the Rangers. I thought the Islanders and Rangers game was a fucking barn burner, dude. Like for
Yeah.
that to be that close going into the third period and then overtime winner by Panarin was pretty
Mhm.
sweet. I had a pretty sick prop builder parlay for that game too,
Oh, did you?
which
What was it?
I didn't post. It was
Oh.
like a 4 or 5 leg prop, but um, Panarin was an anytime goal scorer. I think it was over half a point for Adam Fox, but those are fun because I just sprinkle a little few
Yeah.
dollars on them, and
Yeah.
it's a good
If you
time to
win.
watch the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It always adds a little bit of more fun to kind of have that stuff in there. But yeah. Well, let's jump into the Stadium Series thing. Then we can bounce around what we have to talk about today. But
Yeah,
since we're getting
100%.
into it, yeah, I thought the Stadium Series was done really well. I liked all the intro stuff, especially on Sunday with like Tommy DeVito, the New York Giants, kind of playing on that like, oh, New York, New Jersey kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, having a lot of those football players there, I thought was cool. Saquon Barkley was even there, and he was like, "Oh, this hockey stuff's awesome," which I think is always cool to see. You know, these. I mean, hockey's not a super popular sport as much as we like to think it is.
Yeah.
Uh, out of the four, I'd say it's the least popular, or at least
Oh
like
yeah.
following. I know a lot of people like it, but it's always cool to see a new audience kind of get to see the sport that we love, and they're also loving it. Um, but yeah, I saw a lot of the fits I think are hilarious that they have been doing this. I don't know how long they've been doing this, but it seems like more recently people are kind of stepping up their game, except for the
Yeah.
fucking Islanders, which is hilarious. But at the same time, like, fuck you guys. You guys really just walked in the most boring ass team, and you guys walk in with boring ass outfits. Like, how fitting is that? First off, I thought the Devil's Sopranos one was amazing, being from New Jersey. Which one's your favorite?
Dude, I'd probably have to go with the Rocky Fits. I thought that was just hilarious, on point for Philly, of course.
Mhm.
Like just the sweats and just looking like Rocky, all of them was
Yeah.
kind of hilarious. And to also go off of that too, like I feel like we haven't even discussed this, but like when the Heritage Classic went down in October, the
Yeah.
Oilers dressed up
Yep.
as, some roughnecks on an oil rig, and then the
Yeah.
Flames dressed up in fucking overalls. Like
Yeah,
what the
overall, that's
fuck?
right.
So
Yeah,
no, I'm liking they're doing the intros now. I
yeah,
think these intros are gonna stick with
I think so
every
too.
outdoor game, every special game. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I do think the Rocky fits were the winner for me, but I did like the
yeah,
Sopranos fits too. Those were
yeah.
creative.
I think, who el the Winter Classic, they did that too. The Knights were Elvis, and then
Hmm.
the Kraken were fishermen. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
like it. I hope they keep doing it. I think they will.
yeah. What was your
But
favorite out of these ones?
I like the Sopranos one. That's my favorite TV show, so I had to go with it.
Okay.
Blasted it on my story. But yeah, I thought both the games were pretty awesome. I didn't really watch the Philadelphia, New Jersey one too much. I believe that was Saturday night, and I was out at the comedy show thing. Did you watch that game?
No, I actually did not. I did watch the Rangers Isles one, and that
Okay.
was fucking excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't end up catching the Devils
Yeah.
Flyers one. Um,
Yeah. Shame on us, but
I know,
I thought,
shame.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I'm two hockey podcast guys not watching the first Winter Classic game, but I feel like the Sunday one was a lot more exciting.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I think one of the first things I love to see out of that was Matt Remp, his first NHL career game. It's the first time a player has made a career debut or NHL debut uh, in an outdoor game,
Hmm.
which I thought was cool. And then his first second of his first shift, he gets in a fight. Like, how that's so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
how many players get to say, well, no one, that they get to start their NHL career in a Stadium Series game, but then
Yeah,
also
that's
getting to
so
fight in
sweet.
front of 70,000 people there? Like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
fucking
awesome.
that's so badass. I
Yeah.
did catch that. I didn't understand that it was Remp was his
Yeah.
first game though. That's
Yeah.
fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He had a
like
rookie lap.
that's more people than like most professional fights
Oh
fight
yeah.
in front of. So like
Yeah.
that's
No, it's
kind of
true.
like it's
It's a
kind of like
record-breaking fight.
that's pretty fucking sick, dude. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
No, it was. Yeah, I'd say I mean, another thing, Islanders classic choke job. I mean, I thought it was a good game overall. What was your thoughts like on all that?
I mean, I thought it was a good game
Mhm.
throughout because I mean they didn't blow too bad of a lead, did they?
No, they're up 2 with 5 minutes left, and Rangers scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. So,
Yeah, I just feel like with the Islanders, they're. I mean, I felt like it was a good game throughout the whole game, and then
yeah.
coming down to it, I just feel like the Rangers really showed their offensive power,
Mhm.
and it just came together for them. I mean, I feel like that happens a lot in hockey, especially a 2 goal lead, but I mean, that just shows like you cannot step off the pedal. I mean, you step off the
No.
pedal for 5 minutes in the NHL, like you get fucked over. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of an example of what's happened there. But I've been seeing it in a lot of games. Like a lot of games, there's been 2, 3 goal leads blown, and then a team with momentum ends up winning the game. So
Yeah.
I really like that in the sport of hockey, but I think it's even it's sweet to see that in a venue like the outdoor games. Just because I feel like some of the outdoor games, a lot of the times they can be slower paced, just because it's a different ice surface than an
Yeah.
indoor rink. Sometimes the conditions come into play, whether that's sun, snow, rain, all sorts of shit. So I do feel like that usually hampers the scoring. But for there to be like a 6-5 game and then a 6-3 game, I think that's
Yeah.
that's awesome. Like I feel
No,
like
I
that's
think
what
so too.
people come to those games for.
Yeah.
Um, I will say like going to one of those games, I've never been to one. I think it would be sweet to go to one, but I feel like it just like you don't have as good of a view from like a football stadium. I feel like a
Yeah.
baseball stadium, like 100%. But I mean, I don't know. What's
Uh,
your take on that? Do you think you get a good view
so
at an
I went
outdoor game?
to I went to the Sharks Kings one back in 2014 at Levi Stadium. And
Yeah.
yeah, like the seats, like we had, I think it was the first bowl that we had tickets at. So it was like, lower section. But with the boards and like how that's played, I feel like it would have been better to
Hmm.
sit up high. And yeah, I think baseball stadiums probably have a little bit better, but I mean it is tough because a baseball field is it's just like not like football is square, right? You can put the arena or the rink right in the middle of the field. But with baseball, it's like where do you really put it? And I think they usually try to put it in the middle too. But those lower level seats when you're especially at a football arena or stadium, it's tough to see. Like you can't really see what's going on at certain points where it's like I had friends that were in like the front row, spoiled
Damn.
brats, but they were in like the front row and I remember like seeing photos and I'm like, honestly, like I'd rather not even be there because you can't see anything when you're down low. Now, if you're up high, I think
Yeah.
it's a good spot. Um,
I
but
still feel like it's like such a cool experience. I mean,
yeah,
I feel
no, it
like the
was.
tailgating aspect of,
Yeah, yeah,
football stadiums is awesome. And I'm sure
yeah,
there is some absolute savage tailgates
yeah.
at the,
Hmm.
both of the games, especially the Islanders Rangers one. I just
Oh
feel like
yeah,
the Battle of New York, or I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but
yeah,
I'm gonna call it the Battle of New York. I feel like
yeah,
that is such a good rivalry. Just because I mean, there's not really another city that has two teams in it. I mean, LA you could kind of make an argument
yeah,
for it
yeah,
with the Ducks and Kings, but
yeah. There's
the range.
nothing.
I mean, Long Island's not that far away from Manhattan. So
Yeah, yeah.
I feel
No,
like
it's
some
true.
some people might come at me for that for saying
Yeah,
that, but
they might. Um, yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I mean that East Coast like rivalry is so it's just so much like even New York and Boston, like they have a rivalry. New York and the Devils have a rivalry because they're across the river from each other. And yeah, the
yeah,
Islanders and the Rangers have one because they're in the same state. But even like Philadelphia, like that's still a pretty close battle. Penguins and
one
the
hundred
Flyers,
percent.
like they all have a pretty relatively big rivalry. But then you look out west, I guess Vancouver and Seattle is like the closest one out
Yeah,
west you could
Edmonton,
say.
Edmonton, Calgary is pretty
Yeah,
close.
that one too. Yeah. Anaheim and LA, yeah, those are close too. But I don't think they have as much history as those. Okay, Edmonton and Calgary have a lot of history, but compared to out east, like I think
Oh
those
yeah,
teams are,
100%. And
and
like the
not even just for
longevity
hockey.
of the longevity of those teams though. I mean, you got
Yeah.
to think. I mean, the Bruins, Rangers are original six teams.
Hmm.
Islanders are expansion team.
Yeah.
Same with the Flyers. I mean, those teams have been around for at least like 60 years plus.
Yeah.
So I feel like that definitely affects the rivalries. But no, I feel like the NHL did a solid job with just like the Stadium Series this time
Yeah.
around. I hope they continue doing this stuff because it is cool for fans, and I feel like maybe not the best to go to, but I feel like just the atmosphere is
Yeah.
awesome to go to. But I mean, my question is, the next one is announced for Ohio State Stadium, the Ohio
Hmm.
Stadium, which
Yep.
I did look up. The record attendance is 110,000. So that is one thing to keep in mind because the
Yeah.
record breaking for a hockey game was 110,000 in Michigan. So my question is it going to even sell out? Because the Blue Jackets don't even have that big of a fan base.
Yeah.
Some people might come at me for that, but I'm
Yeah.
talking to sell out 100,000 people plus in a stadium. That's
Yeah.
no small feat. And
No.
if you're comparing a hockey market from Michigan to Ohio, I think
Yeah.
that's a pretty big difference. So I don't know.
Also, the
What's your take?
Detroit
Do you
Red
think?
Wings. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think comparing the Detroit Red Wings to the Columbus Blue Jackets in terms of fans, like 100% they could sell out Michigan's the Big House or whatever it's called.
hmm
But man, the Blue Jacket, who are they playing? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like it'd be the Blue Jackets and Penguins. I feel like those are the two biggest teams
If they
in
have
terms of popularity.
Blue, was it Stadium Series 2025?
Yeah.
25, which also Winter Classic in Chicago with Bedard will be cool. It was right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Wings are going to face the Blue
yeah.
Jackets.
See, okay. I think playing the Red Wings is a good choice because you're going to get people from, I mean, Detroit and Columbus are not very far apart, if I remember
No,
correctly. I went there as a
not
kid.
at all. Few years or
And
few hours apart. Sorry.
yeah, and a lot of my family that is in Ohio or Columbus area, they were more Red Wing fans out there. I mean, a lot of their families from Detroit, so that's why too. But um, yeah, I don't know. I think since they're playing the Red Wings, I think there's a chance it'll be sold out. If they were playing the Penguins, I don't know. Yeah,
I feel
I
like
think it'll get sold out.
also Ohio State and Michigan, that rivalry is going to be,
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to get a
Oh
lot of
shit.
fans there.
I didn't think of that.
Not
Yeah.
not to say I feel like they need to have Ohio State versus Michigan when it comes to like a hockey game because I mean both those teams are in the
Oh my
Big
god.
Ten
Yeah. Well, they
for
just
NCAA hockey, and I feel like that would be
share the
such
stadium.
a killer game. Like
Yeah.
the big game in
Yeah.
Ohio Stadium would be fucking badass.
I think they could. I mean, I
Especially
know. No, go ahead.
especially because it's they're doing Columbus versus Detroit already. Like why not
Yeah.
throw those two teams in there too?
Yeah, I think honestly, like if you were to, so say that game is on Saturday or Sunday, that Stadium Series game, they could, I mean, not easily, but they could put together a game between Michigan and Ohio State. I
Yeah,
think you could possibly get that first bowl sold out just with those college hockey fans. Man, that's a lot to ask for. But if you have that big of a spectacle, especially those are two Division I teams. It's not like club hockey, and we saw that last year. I think it was in Carolina when they did the Stadium Series.
no, and
I
they've
want to
they've
say,
done
yeah,
D1 teams outdoors before. They've done it.
yeah,
They've done it plenty of times, and it sells really well. But especially with the Ohio State versus
yeah,
Michigan rivalry, I mean, I feel like people are going to come out who have never watched a hockey game. So,
yeah.
um,
It's a
I
spectacle
feel
too.
like I'm bagging a little bit on the Ohio Stadium. I personally didn't think it would sell out, but I think my mind's changed a little bit. I think
Yeah,
that there's definitely potential it could sell out. It's not as much of a lock as say Michigan Stadium,
no,
but
nope,
also we'll see how good the Blue Jackets are doing because
that
their
too.
fan
Yeah,
base is pissed about
yeah,
what's going on. There's some not happy campers with the Blue Jackets
yeah,
because I mean going into the season I feel like a lot of people looked at them like
yeah.
at
Like
least a playoff
yeah,
lock,
yeah.
you know? I wouldn't say like a contender or anything, but like
No,
I don't think you would say they are going to miss the playoffs, but holy shit, abysmal season. So,
yeah, no. They've had it rough. I mean, last year I did think they kind of just had an off year. We're able to get Adam Fantilli. I mean, he's obviously hurt right now. Um, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see how that goes. I don't think it will break Michigan's record for most people in an outdoor game, but I I don't know if it'll sell out exactly. They might like say it's a sellout,
Yeah.
but I don't think it'll beat that record of what Michigan did.
Yeah. Well, I would be surprised if it does. But yeah, I think I think it's sweet that NHL is continuing with the Stadium Series like they are. Winter Classic, Heritage Classic. I love if they did some sort of international or like even like an off-site game, not in a stadium. But that kind of brings up the question for me, like, what are some venues you'd like to see for an outdoor game?
Ooh. This just came right to my head. I don't think this is possible at all, but the Great Mall of America in Minnesota would be kind of sick. I don't know how the hell they'd even set that up, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. I know you put Lambeau Field on here. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
feel like a lot of people have just been saying that just because it's such a
Yeah,
historical stadium, but also Green
who'd get
Bay and
home?
Wisconsin. Wisconsin's huge for hockey, so I feel like
Yeah,
you
it
could
is.
have
It is.
you could probably have Minnesota versus
Yeah,
Chicago or
yeah,
Minnesota versus the Wild, something like that. I'd also
yeah,
like to see like with the Stadium Series, like they don't just do one game, like they should do like a few games,
yeah.
two to three games, kind of like they did this past one.
I agree.
Um, but yeah, I think Lambeau would be sick. I know when they did one at Lake Tahoe, there was a lot of talk
Mm,
of them doing one at Lake Louise,
mm.
which is a lake up in Alberta which is absolutely gorgeous, one of the most beautiful lakes
Is
in
that the
North
one that's on
America.
your Instagram picture?
No, no, that
Is it a different
that
one?
one that's some lake in Montana I was playing
Okay.
outdoor at, but
Oh, okay. I thought that was the one. I
yeah,
know it's the one you're talking about, though. Yeah.
yeah, it would be sweet if they did the Battle of Alberta at Lake Louise, especially if it
Hmm.
was. I mean, I don't know if it would be on the side of a lake, on the lake. Who knows? It would be fucking sweet, and I
Yeah.
just think that that would be something that would be the most one of the most
Yeah.
legendary Battle of Albertas
Yeah.
before it's
That
even
would.
played.
Yeah.
I've seen some other crazy ones too. I mean, I know they've done basketball games on aircraft carriers. I feel like that would be
Ooh.
something really sick if they did an
Yeah.
aircraft carrier game. I don't know. That would be wacky, just like if there was any sort of waves or anything. But I do
Yeah. No,
think that
no.
would be sweet.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen the Grand Canyon get thrown out there too. So
I don't know how it would. You'd have to do it at night because I guess it gets pretty cold at night there.
correct.
But
Yeah, they'd have to do it at night, and that's the whole argument behind it. But that would
yeah,
be just
would you do
so
it in the Grand
picturesque.
Canyon? Would you do it in the Grand Canyon? Or would you do it on top, like looking out? I feel like you'd have
I
to do it
think,
inside
yeah,
in the
no,
crowd.
dude. I feel like you got to do it looking
Yeah,
out. Going into the Grand Canyon and setting up in a
dude.
rink would be
Yeah,
fucking insane, dude.
it would. But I mean, if you're gonna do it there, like, I mean, what's the point? What's another one? I remember I played on a pond around like Niagara Falls one year. Um, that'd be kind of another cool spot. The problem with that though
Yeah,
is
that would be
there's a
really
lot of
sweet.
the what's it called? All the water like from the like the falls, all the water like gets up in the air. So I think it'd probably be kind of that ice sheet was pretty rough and very bumpy from my
Bro, that would
look.
be a sick location though, because
Oh
they could do Buffalo versus Toronto.
yeah, no, that was
Throw Detroit
that'd be rough.
versus Buffalo or something in there.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be
Um, Another one that came to my head, of course, bias because we're in Boise, but I know there has been talks of it, and I think Boise State would love to have an NHL game.
dude. Yeah,
But Albertson Stadium would be
yeah.
fucking
Come on,
legendary.
we got to do it. We got to set that up, dude. If we that would put us on the map. We set up. I mean, you know what? I'll fucking throw it out right now. We'll make a clip out of this. But Jeremiah Dickey, if you're listening, we can help plan everything for a outdoor game somehow. We're not going to pay for it. You guys will have to, but we'd love to be a part of that and help promote it for you guys because I think it'd be awesome. Even if it was just for Boise State hockey, I mean, I think that'd be cool too. But we'll see if he listens to us. But I think that'd be a lot of fun actually. But geez, that'd be a tall task for us to handle.
Yeah,
um,
100%, man.
I think, like you said in the international one, Wembley Stadium, that
Yeah,
could be kind of cool.
That'd be sweet just because it's like
historic.
international. I feel like that's gathering a lot more fans with the NHL, and they could do it a lot of different places, at least in Europe to start out with. But shit, man, you could go to somewhere like Tokyo. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy to think about. Like they can make ice basically anywhere. The only thing about it is like keeping the ice NHL grade level is like
Yeah.
that's a difficult task about it because I feel like you can set that thing up, you can make it, but like to keep the ice like it's up to grade for NHL play is like so difficult, man. Because
Yeah.
I mean those ice technicians, they do magic out there. I mean when it
Mhm.
comes to the outdoor games, so it's pretty damn impressive how far they've came with them. Because I think the
Yeah.
first one was in Las Vegas, and it was like a preseason game with the Kings, and Gretzky was there, and it was like fucking the ice was melting and shit,
Yeah.
like all sorts of bad. They had to like take breaks because of the ice and stuff. But
It was so bad. Damn.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Well, cool. I think well, to go back, we got to backtrack a bit. We talked about Stadium Series for a while, but this we can start doing moving forward. But this is something I saw off the NHL. I'm not taking credit for this, but these are the 3 stars of the week. I feel like we had a pretty star-studded 3 stars of the week, especially.
One
Um,
hundred percent.
Number 1 star, Auston Matthews, who did he have 2 hat tricks this week? Last week?
I
He
don't
had
think he
6
had two
goals and
hat.
2 assists. He had 1. I know he had 1 hat trick.
Yeah, he had one hat trick. Dude, he is like I'm just like shocked with this season. Like it just keeps getting better and better. I'm waiting for him to cool down and not score
Yeah.
a couple goals for a couple
Yeah.
games, but holy shit, he's on pace for 75 goals right now at his
Mhm.
current pace.
Yeah.
He's totally going to blow past 65 as long as he doesn't get injured,
Yeah. I
which is
agree.
going to be the most, I believe, I think we talked about the most in the
Yeah.
21st century.
It is.
So
Yeah. Ovi had
that's going to be fucking insane, man. I mean, if he can break that 65 goal, um, I wouldn't say record, but like in the 21st
We'll call it a
century,
record. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty incredible for a player that's, I mean, he's only on his like 6th year, I want to say. So, that's pretty damn impressive. And I think right now he is 100% the favorite for Hart. And I think that like you can't really give it to anyone else if they're scoring at that pace. And it's not like he's lacking in other points either. So,
Yeah. No.
I don't know. What's your take on Matthews though?
Dude, he's he's performing insane. Obviously the Leafs aren't doing super hot. They're kind of just mediocre right now. Which I mean, he's only got he signed that 3-year deal, or 4-year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't how he's probably 26, almost 27 right now, if not
Yeah.
27. We'll see if he can top this season, but this is going to be, I think, a record-breaking season, not just for him, but for the NHL. Especially within the salary cap era. Like, I think he's definitely on pace, has the highest pace right now of all time, or in the salary cap era after like '05. But yeah, I mean, I think if he can crack 70, holy crap, like that's a next level thing. But again, like all the personal accolades aside, I mean, you also have to be just like our second star, you have to be winning the cup. Cause I mean,
Yeah.
he'll get looked at as one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, like Ovi. But Ovechkin's got that ring, and Matthews doesn't have it yet. He's still young. He's got time. It took Ovi a while. I mean, what was his first cup? 2019,
Yeah. Oh, it took Ovi
2018?
fucking
Yeah,
14 years about. So,
yeah,
yeah, maybe Matthews will win a cup with the Coyotes down the road.
yeah, yeah. I'd honestly like to see him go there. But also, I don't know if you saw this, but there's some movement about Salt Lake City and just like the Jazz owners trying to get that NHL team. Uh,
Hmm.
it's looking like it could be a replacement for the Arizona Coyotes. So they could be moving. Nothing's for sure yet, obviously, but there's some talk, especially with Gary Bettman. He's kind of said that he's not really sure. Nothing's set in stone yet, but if those Coyotes can't land on a deal or something, I think it's going to Salt Lake because that Jazz
Yeah.
owner seems like he's very interested,
Dude,
which is
why
a good
not?
sign.
And
Yeah.
Bettman wants to keep hockey in the desert. Like it's not the desert, but it's the high
It's high
desert. I
desert.
mean,
High
Salt
desert
Lake
hockey.
City is definitely still, you could consider it a desert. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I kind of hope it happens. It'd be sweet. I don't think. I mean, we haven't seen a relocation since fucking the Thrashers
Yeah. Winnipeg.
the
Yeah.
Jets back in 2011. So,
Yeah.
sorry to some of the Coyotes fans,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Sorry,
damn,
Tyler, for
man,
listening.
it's been like, I mean, I just people were clowning so hard on them playing in the Mullet Arena, and I think it's fair because it's like, dude, you're
Yeah.
putting an NHL team in a college arena
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
your organization, ownership, city, whatever it is, can't figure out a deal. So
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, yeah, I like the Coyotes. I hope they do stay, but I also want to see Salt Lake get a team. So we'll see. But on to our second star, Connor McDavid.
yeah,
Insane game. I don't know if I'm sure you saw this, but he had 6 assists in one game. Had a couple
hmm
crazy highlights too, which comes with a 6-point game. But he had no goals, but he had 10 points, which is the most on this list of players. Um, for last week's what's it called, race, I guess,
three,
for points.
yeah,
I don't
three
know.
stars.
Yeah, for the 3 stars, yeah. He had 10 points, all assists, but still crazy.
Yeah,
What's his pace right now?
dude, he's at a 133 point pace, and I feel like it's becoming a thing where it's like McDavid's just he's gonna be if he's healthy, he's gonna be blown past 120 points. So it's really nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, I mean, I just feel like if another player was at a 133 point pace, a lot of people would be, speaking about that. But there's McKinnon's up there, Kucherov is up there
Yeah.
with
No, they're
points.
definitely
So,
lighting it up. Yeah.
yeah, I mean this season there's some goal scoring, there is some point production like we have not seen in a long time. So, McDavid, I mean, still do not like the Oilers. Don't really like McDavid too much, but I
Yeah.
gotta respect him, man. Gotta
Yeah. Give him his
respect him.
flowers. Yeah. Yeah. I it's also weird. I mean, he had such a slow start, and to be
Yeah,
getting, if he finishes with 133 points, I couldn't imagine what we'd be talking about if the Oilers were actually good the first half of the season.
yeah.
Be crazy. But third star, we talked about him last week, Matthew Tkachuk. Yet again, he's still lighting it up. Like, I was literally making a
Mm-hmm.
clip about him being one of the stars, or just like I was making a clip about him that we talked about last week. And I had the Chicklets cast on, which was on Wednesday on True TV, which, side note, was super cool. Would love to do that. True TV, if you're watching, we'd love to be the next ones on there. But yeah, it was cool to see them like kind of it's like the Eli Manning and Peyton Manning cast that they have, kind of doing that side thing. But Kachuk was in that game. I think he had 2 or 3 points. Last week he had 3 goals, 5 assists. He's got 13 points in the last 5 games, which, I mean, I think he's back, like we said last week. But
Yeah, he's definitely back.
again, I mean, this Panthers team right now is looking deadly. If I was a
Mm-hmm.
Boston fan, I'd be shitting my pants again. But man, like, I mean, this is the time to do it. I mean, I think it's also tough. He might have had a slow start as of what happened in the finals. Like, he got hurt. He probably wasn't 100% in the beginning of the season. He may have said he was, but especially mentally, like, that's tough to lose in the finals the way that they did, especially
Dude,
after
and
that comeback that they had.
yeah, and especially the way Vegas just completely overshadowed the beginning of the season when they just came out of the gates flying,
Yeah,
which are cooling down right now, which
they
is
are.
pretty interesting.
Yeah,
They have been for the past month or so, but um, yeah, I mean Matthew Tkachuk, he's fucking elite. Surprising he didn't make the. I think he took that to heart about the All Star game, not making the All Star
oh
game.
yeah,
So
which is good. I mean, you
um,
need that sometimes.
yeah, I mean I think he probably really enjoyed that week or so off, and holy shit, he's coming out the gates flying though. 13 points in the last 5 games. I mean that's almost 3 points per game pace. So
Yeah,
um, definitely keep an eye on the Panthers. They are looking dangerous. I definitely
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, like I say every podcast, like, this shit's just heating up. But um, another thing I want to talk about. This happened last night on Monday. Connor Bedard, got in a tussle with Spencer Martin, goalie for the Hurricanes. The first play that happened was he kind of gets shoved into the goalie, and Spencer Martin doesn't really like that. And I mean, Bedard was probably getting under his skin a bit. Um, and the Blackhawks were losing pretty bad at this point. But anyways, they kind of get into a little bit of a scruffle, and the goalie kind of pushes him, and Bedard hits back, which I love to see out of him. Obviously, he's a great player, super big in the NHL right now. Him being the best rookie. Um, and then he's showing some personality, getting into it with the goalie, and then I believe it's the second or third goal. It's like 5-2 at this point, and Bedard scores, and then stares down Spencer Martin in net. And Spencer Martin does give him a little, uh, he points at the scoreboard at him, and he's like, "Hey, just remember, kid." But I don't know. To see that of a rookie like that, I think is awesome. Just to see him showing his personality, causing some controversy.
Yeah, it gave me flashbacks to, I mean, that sort of example, that gives me flashbacks to like Sidney Crosby in his first year. How, dude, I mean, Crosby got fucking lit up and targeted so much his first year.
Mhm.
Just reminding me of like the Flyers versus Pens, that
Yeah.
05-06 season. Like Crosby got fucked with like no other. But he
Mhm.
definitely chirped back, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Good for
the
him.
the sweet thing about Crosby during that season was he, one, didn't get injured like Bedard did, but
Yeah.
also he would, you know, he would fucking get a lot of shit talked to him or dirty plays against him, and he would, prove these people wrong, and would score game winners or have a good game after that. So, um, I feel like Bedard's going to kind of have a target on his back for the rest of the season just because he's a rookie. He's, the next prodigy in the league. So,
Yeah.
um, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. Because I mean, there's definitely players that are gonna drop the gloves for him on the Hawks, but
Oh yeah.
um, I mean, himself, he can't right now. I mean, he's got a
Mm.
broken jaw, so, and I don't think he probably will for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good to see. I like to see Bedardsky kind of mix it up, and
Yeah.
welcome to the NHL.
Yeah. No, totally. I thought it was cool to see. But last topic. Go ahead. You got your Flames talk. Let's do
Oh,
it.
my goodness. So, Calgary Flames have been very inconsistent. Let's just say the Calgary Flaming Sea does not stand for consistency anymore. Um, I mean, holy shit, they dropped I think it was 6-3 against the Sharks.
Hmm.
Philip Zadina's game, I guess.
Yeah.
They also lost like 5-zip to the Red Wings. Like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, and then the next 2 days later, they beat the fucking Winnipeg Jets, who are a great team. But their old, first round draft pick, Sean Monahan, decides to score a hat trick, which I think that broke like every Flames fan's heart.
Yeah.
That happened. But there's been a lot, and I mean a lot of talk about the Calgary Flames lately just because of the trade deadline. They have a lot of expiring good defensemen. But not only that, they have one of the best goalies in the league this season right now, Jacob Markstrom, which has been in a lot of talks. I know this past week, there's been a lot of talks about him going to New Jersey. Supposedly, he waived his no trade clause for that trade and was totally down to go to New Jersey. Which, I mean, in a way, why not? They're a young
Yeah.
team, and I wouldn't say they're necessarily a contender right now, but like I wouldn't put them out of it necessarily. Um, but I think the Flames would get such a big haul for him. I mean, if I were in the GM shoes, I would start trading assets. I just think that it's not really the Flames' year unless they swing it around and go on a win streak right now. If you don't trade these players, they're going to walk in the off season. But I mean, other two names that have been thrown around a lot is Chris Tanev and Noah Hannafin. They're both linked to. I know Chris Tanev has been talked about going to the Maple Leafs so much, but Noah Hannafin has been linked to teams in the East Coast. I think the Flyers were in on that, and same with the Penguins. But Pens don't have too much cap space either. But it's gonna be interesting to see where they go. I think Hannafin for sure is gonna get traded. Same with Tanev. But if Markstrom gets traded, I mean, those are three humongous assets that they can get a lot back for them. So it's going to be up to Craig Conroy, GM of the Flames, and I don't know. I guess, what do you think? Do you predict all three of these players are going to go, or do you think it's just going to go with the two defensemen? I mean, for sure the two defensemen, I think, because their contracts are expiring,
Yeah.
but Markstrom's kind of iffy for me.
Yeah, Markstrom, I mean, he's definitely the most notable on the list. And I mean, the Flames do have a good goalie pool that they could pull from. It's not like they would totally lose from getting rid of Markstrom. They give Wolf more of a spot to start playing. I don't know that he's ready completely to take on that starting role.
Yeah, he went in a lot against the Sharks a couple nights ago. So
Yeah. Hey, Dustin, if you're listening, don't worry. Your time will come. But I think in terms of Markstrom, I don't know if this is the year yet. But it's definitely the best time to get a return on him.
yeah,
You don't want to discourage a goalie like that who's young. You want to make sure he's ready. But in terms of the other names, I mean, I don't know. With those guys with the contract expiring, you
like
may
they
as well.
got it. They
Yeah.
got it. And I think the
Yeah.
Flames can get great assets for those two players, especially because they're defensemen. Defensemen are in need. I wouldn't say like, Hannafin or Tanev are necessarily like offensive defensemen. I mean, Hannafin somewhat, but these are good stay-at-home guys that, are going to make an impact to any team they go on. So I'm going to be very surprised to see where both of them go. I mean, my prediction is Tanev's going to go to the Leafs for sure. Hannafin, I think he's either going to go to the Devils or the Lightning, which I didn't mention, are another team that's been thrown around a lot. So
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. And then if I were to guess, if these two players are getting thrown off the books, I think Markstrom's going to get traded too, just because they could get such a big haul for him right now.
Yeah.
And he's not the youngest of goalies, so I really think the Flames should pull the trigger when they can. And
Yeah.
if they don't, they're going to be regretting it for the next years. I think. I think this is a really crucial time for them to do
Yeah.
something with these assets, these aging assets too,
Yeah.
or else they're gonna regret it. And
Yeah.
Craig Conroy, I hope you do your magic, because you did your magic with Elias and Lindholm. That was a small sample size, so
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that again.
Yeah. No, totally. Well, I can't think of much else we got to talk about. Sharks still suck. They did beat you guys though. So got a little personal win there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna get better and better each episode. As we get closer, especially trade deadline, we'll probably talk more about that. We had a lot to talk about with the outdoor game and stuff. But any last words you got to say for anyone out there listening?
Craig Conroy, go ahead and trade some assets. Give Dustin Wolf some playing time for the rest of
Yeah,
the season. Go
Galli's giving you
Flames
the green
still.
light. Yeah.
Go Flames still. I mean, even if the Flames were the worst in the league, I'd still be preaching about the Calgary Flames. Always will be a fan.
Yeah.
And you know what? Boise State, let's get a damn NHL game on the
Yeah.
blue turf. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
I think that would be really hard to pitch to the NHL. But
Oh, it would. It'd be very hard. But that's why I think we get Boise State hockey next year. Get them a little rink on the field, dude. That'd be insane. Honestly, like, I mean, it's not like they don't have a crowd. Honestly, okay. The boys, like, how was that game at ICCU? Was it sold out?
yeah, I mean, in
I mean, I
terms
know
of
Albertson's
seats, like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was sold out. But I think for Boise State club team to play there, they're definitely gonna have to go up to D1,
It's
which is
expensive
a
shit.
long
Yeah.
shot right now.
Yeah.
But
Although we
I mean, I think
saw,
the Steelheads could probably sell out a game there. But still, that would take a lot, and not as much coverage. But
yeah,
I think it would be really
that'd be
awesome
a lot
still
of
if they
money.
got the Steelheads, out there. Yeah, it would be so expensive for all parties involved, but
Yeah.
I think it would
I guess
still be a cool event for Boise.
Boise
And
BYU play each other, dude. I don't know. I think you guys should look into it. Jeremiah Dickey and Boise State hockey president. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Keep watching hockey. Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.